Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's Chrome Shelled Regios. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to Thursday the 12th. It is July, and we're doing Chrome Shelled Regios.
That's right. The anime is 2009 for the anime. This has been like a manga. It's been a light novel. But, you know, so there's a lot out there, but it's only a couple issues of the manga, a couple whatever. There's only 24 issues of the anime. So anyway, the anime it's a post-apocalyptic world. People have to now live in these roaming cities called Regios.
They're domed.
And I think it really should be Regios, but that's how they pronounce it, as Regios on the show. Anyway, yes, they are domed, so they've got like their atmosphere inside. Outside, nobody can be there for very long without a suit.
Right.
So it's very toxic outside. There are these things called contaminoids that are out there that are basically. If you ever seen Nausicaa, they're those guys mostly. Those are the larvae. You know those
Ohms?
beetles. Yeah, right.
The
They
ohms?
look just like them. But there's also ones that as they mature. Just like, an insect, some of them become larger and have wings, and some become even larger and like produce other contaminoids. And
Right.
So they got to stay away from the bad contaminoids.
And some of them can even like heal rapidly.
Yes, they like split off and then make new ones, kind of thing.
Very interesting.
So that is kind of like, the cliche bit of it. But whatever, they're very, very difficult to kill. That's why these cities are roaming. And the thing is, though, that the cities control themselves. There's an electronic spirit that controls the city, and it moves it. So they really don't have an option of where to. So it might just stumble upon a nest of contaminoids, which it does. But usually, it's smart enough to stay away.
Right.
But this is part of the drama that happens in the anime is that these cities start moving on their own, or they stop, and then they won't move. Like, why aren't they moving? And the spirits, whatever. The spirits take some kind of manifestation, and certain people can talk to them or whatever. The city that we follow mostly is Zwelny, and it has a little girl as the spirit of the city, and she talks to Nina, who is the leader of the 17th, what is it, regiment?
Brigade? 17th Troop?
17th,
17th.
She's able to talk to the spirit, and so that kind of a tie-in there. Nina is also very hell-bent on. It's kind of like Hunger Games. It reminds me of Hunger Games, where they come together, they have a contest. When two cities meet, when the walking Regios meet, they have a contest, and whoever wins the contest gets, extra resources, because they're all short on, power and water and all that stuff. So the 17th, along with, everybody else, the military artists, they all train to compete in this event. So Nina is hell-bent on being, the best, and, only the best will be able to fight the other city. And then she was in a situation where she desperately, was almost there, desperately wanted it, almost getting the flag, because that's really what it is the first one to get the flag. And then she lost. And so she kicks herself for that. She wants to become stronger. It's kind of the classic, I must be stronger. I must, whatever, prevail. And
Yeah, but even though it's been done before, I really like Nina as a character.
Yeah, I do too.
I like her struggles. I like her, the way she handles herself. I
got into it right away. I think it took me a couple episodes, and then I was all in.
Right.
Leifon is the other main character that you follow. Leifon he has kind of a checkered past, and I guess we'll spoil some of it. He used to be Heaven's Blade, which these are like badasses of like the capital city,
Right.
Protectors of the Queen, kind of thing. Zwelny doesn't have a queen; it has a student body president or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's
that's
odd that it's a student body president.
Yeah, but I think that's what it's called.
Right.
I don't remember if that. I don't know if that is like a Japanese interpretation, or if they're just so into school, like that's the president. I don't know.
And it is like a giant university.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of. This is an academic. Zwelny is an academic school. They have other ones that are just kind of more military, cities, but this is an academic city. Anyway, so Nina and Leifon leaves his city, which is the same as the Queen's, which is. Glendon, and he's done something wrong. I guess I'll leave that for you to find out. He's done something bad, so he ends up having to leave. He encounters Nina, who discovers that he has power. Like, she convinces him basically to try out for the team or whatever, to be on the team. And all of a sudden, he lets some of his power go because he's like, in order to be a Heaven's Blade, you have to be uber powerful. Your key, or your, yeah, is that K? That's what they call it. It's KI, but they call it K. Your K, like your chi kind of thing. You have to be really adept at using that in order to be a Heaven's Blade. So he's this uber badass. He's a really young guy, but he's this uber badass. He's been trained since he was a young kid, although so is Nina. But so his power comes out a little bit. She identifies it, and there's this big struggle of, well, I'm the leader of the team, but you're super powerful. And, her personal, she's really struggling with not being as strong as he is and having to rely on him. That's a big thing throughout the anime, is that Nina has to rely on Leifon.
And she doesn't want to.
And she really doesn't want to, yeah. And she pushes herself to the point that something else huge happens. So there are other characters. This is a small platoon, or whatever you want to call it. The 17th is fairly... There was your
Feli. I love Feli.
Senior Feli. Which is like senior. It's kind of weird. But
well, it's senior, like senior.
She's kind of one of those deadpan little girls, but she's a meme operator.
Right, and I was gonna bring up the reason why she's deadpan is because, like Vulcans, they really kind of have to suppress their emotions because otherwise it kind of comes out too strong.
Yeah, very good comparison. Yeah, they basically send out probes in a sense, and they can read information. So they're really the the mainframe of the group. They whatever, you should go here, you need to go there, right. Watch out for this, whatever. And so yes, they're always experiencing all the time. So they have an overload of information, and so keeping their spirit is. I really love
her. She's by far my favorite character because she has to suppress these emotions, but she wants to be like everyone else. She wants to have fun and stuff. So she gets a job, and doing the waitressing.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
And she's just like,
that's a little bit of a throwaway though. That job episode.
Would you like something to eat? What can I get for you?
Yeah, she works at this place that all the girls dress up, whatever, cutesy and whatever. Yeah. But her brother is actually the president of Zwelny. So there's a lot of interesting interaction there, and then because they're both very concerned about each other, but he's the president, and he's definitely the down and dirty, makes people do stuff. But yeah, she runs into Fan. She's a little irritated with him, so she calls him
Fan.
Oh, I just said that.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry. Leifon.
So
calls him Fan.
She said
as a derogatory kind of.
It was gonna be like Lei. She had like a whole bunch of names, but Fan was the one that he agreed to.
Yeah, right. And so they have kind of a lot of, this is an anime where a lot of girls are in love with the main guy. So Leifon, we've got Fan, we've got his girl from the original city, Glendon, and we've got Nina, who's kind of into him, and then we've got this other kind of side character who's just a regular human, but she makes him lunches all the time and like leaves it for him. And he's an idiot. He's like me. I would be this way too. I'd be like, oh hey, free lunch, and I wouldn't think about who made it for me necessarily. I mean, maybe I would. I don't know.
I would. I'd be like, silly, what am I eating?
But I guess he thought maybe it was like standard to the now he's living in the dorms or whatever. Maybe it's I don't know. But she's just a normal human being, and he ends up kind of saving her, and she really wants to save him once or help him or whatever. So there's some interesting. My favorite character is actually the one that wants to be a cop. She's badass.
She is badass.
I like her, but she's not a huge part of it, and you never really get to know her, unfortunately.
I like Feli.
But she's still fun to be there.
Feli's great.
This anime does have the ridiculous let's all go to the pool episode right in the middle, which is kind of silly.
It's standard. You have to have it. I'm going to have it.
Or another thing I wanted to say about Feli is that she has these moments where she does let her emotions get, and she kicks people.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to see them. Because they're like, they tell her something just normal, but they're worried that she's gonna. So they're like, no, I like peanut butter better, because she's gonna kick him. Or
yeah.
There's always a threat of her going.
One of my favorite scenes with Feli is there's these rivals, and then there's this guy, and then there's this short little redhead, and the redhead sits on top of
the little cat shoulder. Girl.
Yeah, and she's constantly making fun of Feli and, just really pissing Feli off. So Feli goes over to Fan and says, put me on your shoulders. I want to be on your shoulders,
right.
Just because she wants to feel that kind of connection, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's a rival. It's not the 17th. It's like the 10th or something.
Right.
No, the 10th is the other guys. It's a rival, legion, or whatever you call it, platoon. And there's a strong guy that used to be from Glendon who's the brother of one of the Heaven's Blades, yada yada yada. But he's like the strong guy, you know, whatever. He's trying not to be intimidated by Liphon and whatever. And so this cat girl that is on his team as well, they're really close. And yeah, again, she always rides on his shoulders, and so Feli sees that and is jealous, you know.
Yeah.
And
she's just so awkward. It's great. Like, Feli is just awesome. I love her.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of my favorite characters too. I like that cat girl. I really, I don't know why. I just like the way she moves, and I like her little helmet with ears and stuff. She's fun. Anyway, there's a lot of fun characters. Heaven's Blades. See, that's the thing, is it's another anime again, just like the one we just reviewed, where it kind of dumps it at the end, like, okay, now read the manga. Like,
yeah,
the Heaven's Blade, like, you only get a little bit of them, only a little bit. That does remind me, though, that there's this through story of like a movie that they're watching, but it's kind of like real life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With that other group of, you know, kind of Heaven's Blade-ish kind of.
Yeah, it's like a noir kind of movie.
It's Heaven's Blade. I keep saying Heaven's Sword, or whatever. It's kind of interchangeable for me, but that's another problem with the Japanese things. Like, it's hard for me to remember the Japanese names, except for Nina, because that's easy, and then like Fawn because it's whatever.
Well, Nina's a Spanish name.
Well, whatever. I'm just saying it's one that I'm familiar with, you know. Anyway, there's great voice acting.
Yes,
for the most part. I think Liphon is actually a little dry.
Yeah, I think he's the one I had the most amount of problem with.
But
I like the mechanic. The guy who did the voice for the mechanic was pretty good.
Yeah, he's the one that's in. Yeah, I like him too a lot. He's got that very odd voice, kind of cracky voice, and he's in Samurai 7 and all that stuff too. Right. So yeah, a lot of familiar voices. Good job. The animation is very clean and well done.
Action's really great. I like the action.
Yeah, and there is this whole kind of, when a city dies, nobody really, like, their spirit, the spirit of the city becomes fallen. I can't remember what the term is. They become corrupted, and I don't know, there's kind of a stereotypical thing there where it's kind of obsession that turns them into yada yada. That's really the biggest part of the anime, so I'm going to let you discover that.
Right.
But so there is kind of a magical, mythical, supernatural thing around it,
but it's
and it
kind
has
of
to do with obsession. And
it's kind of all
power,
kind of gathered into the universe very well. I mean, because it's.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not explained. I'm just saying that it's kind of like that old chestnut.
That old chestnut.
The corrupted power who looking for someone who's obsessed and makes them more obsessed, but stronger, and whatever.
Yeah.
So, but it's a very solid anime. I definitely check it out. It's on Netflix right now. I don't know how much longer, so go check it out. 24 episodes, can get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and
there too.
It's a lot of fun.
Great show.
Just enough humor, I think, also to keep it.
Oh, there's plenty of humor. I think it's great.
Well, I mean, there's serious moments as well, so it's not heavy-handed either way. It's pretty light, though, as far as an anime.
Yeah.
Oh, and they have these things called daites, which are the weapons.
Oh yeah, daites.
They say restoration, and it goes whoop and creates their sword or whatever. And that's kind of weird. Like, I don't really understand. They never really go into that.
Yeah,
so much.
And that's unfortunate because the mechanic's job is to more or less tailor the daite to what you need. Like, Leifon's has two settings. One is like this kind of stringy whip thing that he can use as grappling
like
hooks and catch things, and the other one's the sword. So it's.
And he has a whole big thing in the sword. Oh, and there's that mercenary group that's really fun to watch. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to discover. So
it's really fun.
Go check it out. I highly recommend it. It's not one of those. It might be one of those ones that I forget about. It could be. I don't know yet. I haven't had enough time pass that it might be one of the ones that kind of blends into other ones.
I gotcha.
But I really did enjoy it.
Yes.
I definitely think it's worth a watch. All right, follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, tell us what you think.
Check out our wares on spiderwolf.com and follow all of our great videos, our Duel review channel on YouTube.
Got one shot today, and it's going to be a review of a figure and maybe some music and some other stuff. That's it. See you.
Oh.
You got to be quicker on the draw. You're letting me get to it way too fast.
I know.
I feel bad. I just feel bad for
I think I hit you with one of these.
Too bad. On the next Duel review, Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Let's see. It's Thursday the 12th. Nick is scarred for life. Thanks. Nick is going to have to get a full body checkup to make sure there's no parasites living inside of
I
him.
just told him a parasite story. Very disturbing.
Dude, I don't know if I feel bad. Gross.
Did I show you that frog
That's enough.
gives birth? The baby's on its back. It's so gross.
A frog that gives birth to baby.
I just my hairs just stood up on the back of my neck. So gross.
How did it give birth to babies?
Honestly, I really am shivering. The eggs get laid on its skin on the back of it, and they eat into they're like pimples, but you have like legs flicking out. It's so gross. Like me describing it is not as gross as it looks. They're like huge pores with little babies living in them. So disgusting.
By the way, for all those viewers at home, RJ really knows how to gross me out. He just does.
We thought about doing a show of things you don't want to know, but I'd run out of them. I have like 5 of them that are really gross. Flat toads. Back babies. Video, of course. Sumerian toad. Is that? Oh. I cannot get this out of my face to stop tingling. You didn't even see the eggs though, because they have like this gelatinous thing on top of the skin. Then they showed like a like a time lapse or whatever. They just kind of sink into the skin, and it becomes even again. And then all of a sudden, they're like holes pop open, little legs pop out.
How does that even happen?
You didn't find that gross? Oh, it's so gross.
Well, you made it.
Oh look, there's something living in that guy's
That's
skin.
enough.
I'm not looking at that. That's so gross. I'm gonna pick something else.
Put on like kitten videos.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Oh, kitten.
Palette cleanser.
Well, that one had something living in it.
I
Funny.
don't know if I like this video.
It's not hurting him.
He's shoving the kittens into the box. I'm having a problem with this video. This guy's a bastard. Dear Monster Energy drinks, we're looking for endorsements. Just letting you know.
Yeah, he'll endorse you.
Yeah, what would that be? Endorsers?
Your plants in Kentucky, all him.
Endorsers?
Endorsees.
Endorsees? We're looking for endorsees?
No.
No, we'd be the
endorsement. We'd be the endorsee. I don't know.
We're looking for sponsors. That's an easy word.